Hello, my name is Anthony Johnson. I go to Youngstown State University, and my major here is General Studies. I play football. My position is D tackle, and I'm number 97. My interest is listening to music since I was younger. I always loved listening to music, relating it to my life. So it was always something I was interested in. And I was pretty happy when this was given my chosen topic. That's what pretty much why I made my excuse me. That's why I made my website about listening to music, and that's how I want to tie in how listening to music before football was very peaceful for me. So for module one, my quote was to hear something with thoughtful attention and to give consideration. And what I brought away from that quote was to you have to listen to be able to understand. If you're not listening to understand, then you'll just like hear what the person's saying, but you won't be listening, like a lot of people say most of the time. And when you go into the conversation, don't go into the conversation with like negative, with negative intent to like not listen or think they don't know what they're talking about. Go in with positive intent because when you go in with positive intent, you'll be more attracted to listen and you'll hear what they're saying instead of just going one ear and out the other. And being negative will allow you to listen. You'll lose interest. Give respect and listen to understand, not to show who is right. For module two, I had a video and it was how to actively listen. For custom media, show that you care, show that you care to your customers. You don't always need to talk. It's better to talk less than to listen more than you talk. The content that you push out does not always have to be pushed out at that time. You can take your time. You don't always have to be like the center of attention. You have two ears and one mouth for a reason. Your success will come much at a higher rate when you learn to use your ears more than you use your mouth. And that was what the video talked about in module two. For module three, I had a video clip of The Big Bang Theory, a TV show, and one of the characters shouted he was talking a lot, and the first lady is not listening, and at first the lady was not listening, and he just kept talking. He kept telling just different types of stories, and he really what she was like just asking different questions about like, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you grab me the salt? They were eating at a dinner table, and he really didn't notice because he just like continued to talk and continued to do stuff for her. So she just continued to ask him to do things, and then he then noticed like, you're not really listening to me, and you're not taking me serious. When he was like having a and the topic was serious to him, and she told him that she was like, fine. She was like, okay, I'll finally listen, and I'll give you my undivided attention. But she like when she started to listen, she was being like more sarcastic and she wasn't listening to understand. She was listening just to show him that she was listening to him. And when you listen, and I what I took from that is when you listen with the intent of listening, you are able to fully understand. For module four, it had a picture and it just takes your it said it takes your whole body to actually listen. You must have good eye contact. Both ears are ready to hear. Mouth should not be ready to be opened until the other person is finished. You shouldn't always be like looking for a response, looking for an answer to give somebody every time they start talking. Hands quiet and lap. They don't need to be moving around. You need to have quiet feet on the floor, not making sounds. Body towards the speaker, giving them your full undivided attention. Brain needs to think about what is said, interpreting. And taking what they say and like trying to understand and listening to understand, basically. And your heart needs to care about the speaker. For module five, I talked about social monitoring versus social listening. For social monitoring, you're reactive, your tactics based, and your information's gathering focus. When you're listening, you're proactive, your strategy based insight, and you have insight development focus. Excuse me. Challenges that I had for this, figuring out how to work Weebly at first were a big challenge for me. I never really made a website or even thought about making a website here in the near future, but I do want to have my own clothing brand one day. So I think like giving me the background of how to make a website and what it's supposed to look like and how the right information on there and editing the website is this was like the challenge ended up helping me in the end. Tricks was I learned how to make the website, like I said, how to make it creative and how to make it interesting and attentive for all viewers to want to look at. For successes, I was able to make my message clear through my modules. Like I was able to explain through my what my topic was, and I think if you look through all my modules, if you were like a stranger, you would know what my topic was and what my website was mainly about. Excuse me. my failures. I wasn't able to put as much detail as I wanted to due to not knowing like the ins and outs of the editing on on Weebly. So that was kind of like a challenge for me sometimes, and that was like I wish I could have got more on there because I think my website could have been better. If I was to use this again, I would have much more knowledge, and it would make it much easier to know how to upload content to my website for success. Because before I really want to knew a lot about this, but I'm glad that I did take this course, and glad that I did use Weebly for the future.